So what do you do when you've created a life, an identity around a certain way of being in the world? Even as someone who has probably been able to pick up your life and restart it in multiple different arenas, as someone who's been able to enter and be one of the few or one of the only in different activities that you do, from work to your extracurriculars to the way that you make impact in the world. Now, what do you do when you've been successful at that for years, for decades, for 25 years or more, and it's time to reinvent yourself? Do you leave all that behind? Are you able to step into the new identity that you really want to create for yourself? And are you able to, I think, if I'm going to be very real with us here, are you able to be true enough to who you are to allow that out in the world, even if it's not what most people around you have gotten to know? These are some of the questions that were floating through the conversation that I had today with Justin Jobity. Justin is someone who's been an incredible force in my life, and I'm excited to introduce him to this community because he continues to play the game. As you listen to our conversation here, listen for elements in your life where you might feel that you have something in you that challenges the identity that others tend to see you as. And let's go even further than that, if we're going to be real here. That challenges the identity that you yourself believe for yourself and have crafted for others to see as well. And I love to engage in a dialogue, into a conversation. The reason why I feature these conversations is because these are just members of our community who are out there living it. We spend time coaching so that we can get into the real challenges that are happening now as they're still messy, rather than getting to the point afterwards and just interviewing and saying, well, this is how I did it. Let's be real about all this. I invite you to bring that context into the conversation in which you're about to participate in. I think that's a really great way of putting it. This conversation is still alive. Whether you're watching this the day after I post it or 5 years later, this is an ongoing conversation because these things are important. These are the challenges that we face as outliers, pioneers, and mavericks. Be curious about your comments. Let's continue the conversation. And if we need to have another conversation around something that came up in this conversation here, it's a lot of words using a conversation. Let's do it. There we go. If we need to talk more about something that comes up in this conversation with Justin, then let's go ahead and schedule that. Let me know, all right? I'm glad to be in community with you. We'll talk soon. See you in the Oasis.